The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is aura imaging and chakra imaging, because that's the most exciting thing that I'm doing now. I've always been a psychic, I've always been a medium, I've always known it, I've always at a young age got into trouble with it, so I buried it for 40 years. And I didn't start to come into my power until I was in my mid-40s, to trust what I was getting and what I was receiving, and that I wasn't going to get destroyed in some way for it. It took me a long time to choose everything from my heart. The minute I did, my life expanded in ways that I can't even begin to tell you. The minute I chose from my heart and stepped into my power, I became, for me, the most powerful being on the planet, and I still am. And all I see is empowered, powerful beings that may or may not choose to empower or disempower themselves. So my mission is to grow every soul that crosses my path, to raise the vibration, because you are vibration and color. That's all you are, is vibration and color. This sack, this body, is nothing. It's a vehicle. It's your bus. Your heart, your soul, your light being is driving the bus. That's what you need to be in awareness with. So about 30 years ago, I discovered Kirlian photography, which is a very imprecise and kind of cruel way to measure auras, and it was one of the first ones. You would put your hand on a little pad and a little electric shock would be sent through your fingers. But what it did prove is that there were auras, that you could measure energy, and that energy was in the body. A few years later, a scientist in Czechoslovakia who went to work for the Russian space program developed what is now the first aura chakra imaging, and they did that to work constructively with the space program to prove that we all had energy. And it was really a buried science. And then in 1988, a doctor in California, Valerie Hunt, was working with the NASA space program, and she was researching this energy and how to be more in touch. And at that time, the Cold War was still going on, and they were using remote viewers. Now, basically, a remote viewer is somebody like me that can see into the past, see into the future, see into the distance across dimension, and see what's going on another part of the planet. So in little closeted rooms, they had people like me that they called remote viewers, who were really just psychics and mediums and empaths and channelers that could see into things, watching what was going on. And it was a spy game that was going on. But what happened is that these channelers and these remote viewers finally were validated. It didn't matter what they were doing. What mattered is that for the very first time in the history of the planet, outside of mystic and esoteric and tribal traditions, they were validated as having an ability that really existed. Before that, everything that I did was woo-woo. We got burned at the stake, we got hung, we got drowned. Now we were validated by science, by thinking, rational, analytical men that said, oh yes, they can do this. Then everybody started to jump on the bandwagon to prove that energetically and electronically this was possible. Biofeedback was developed. Acupuncture, acupressure, that were esoteric sciences until that time, now became real and present outside of their original cultural boundaries. They became available as an energetic modality for every human on the planet if they wanted to explore it. And all the little intersections of all of these different techniques and modalities and disciplines came together. So, chakras. Chakras are your energy system. They are the engine that drives your body. They are the light that restores your soul, and they keep you attached to heaven and attached to earth. And now we have the technology through Kirlian and Hunt and the space program to image that and show you what I see. So if you want to know more about chakras and aura imaging and how it affects what I do and how I read it, come and see us at Soulful Solutions.